To calculate the surface area of a cylinder, I'm going to first draw a net. The net that makes a cylinder is made up of a rectangle for the lateral area. This is the lateral area, everything but the bases. And the two bases are circles that are the ends of on the ends of the lateral area. The length right here is your height. It's the height between your bases. So since the height of the cylinder is 12, I can put 12 over here. And this 5 is the radius of the circle. So we'll put a 5 here for the radius of the circle. To find the surface area, we need to find the area of a circle, the area of this circle, and the area of this rectangle, and add them together. So if you remember, pi r squared is the area of the circle, pi r squared, and we need the length of this rectangle times the height to get the area of this rectangle. Because this has to wrap around the circle, this is the length of the circumference of the circle. The circumference is pi times the diameter. So to get the circle area, we will substitute into pi r squared the 5 for the radius and get 25 pi. The lateral area will be the rectangle, which is going to be the circumference of the circle, which is pi d times the height, which is 12. Pi times the diameter, since the radius is 5, the diameter is 10 times 12. 10 times 12 is 120, so we'll do 120 pi. So the total surface area is made up of the lateral area plus two bases, since we have two bases on the shape. The lateral area is 120 pi, and the area of the base is 25 pi, and there's two of them. So that will be 120 pi plus 50 pi, which ends up being 170 pi, which is approximately 534.1, or it's to the 100th, so 534.07. And that's in inches squared because it's area. And to calculate the volume of a prism is the area of the base times the height. Since the shape of our base is a circle, we will substitute pi r squared for the base area, and the height is still 12. So since the area of the base we found is 25 pi, we can substitute 25 pi. We can multiply it by the height. 25 times 12 is 300. So the volume is 300 pi, or 942.48 inches cubed. Let's move on to the cube. This is a cube. We have 6 squares that are exactly the same size in a cube, so the surface area can be found just by finding the area of one of the sides and multiplying it by 6. So the surface area is 6 times a square, which has an area of side squared. So 6 times 7 squared, 6 times 49, and 6 times 49 is 294. And this is centimeters squared. And the volume is going to be length times width times height, but since we are using the same on each, we can just say it's side cubed. So 7 cubed is going to be the volume, which is 343 centimeters cubed. We can go on to the cone. We'll find the surface area of the cone. by first finding the lateral area. The lateral area is this triangular area. And the formula is 1/2 the circumference times the slant height. The circumference is pi times the diameter times the slant height. Now the slant height is this side right here. It's the hypotenuse of this right triangle. Since we have the slant height, 10, we can substitute that in, along with the diameter, which is 6 and 6, which is 12. And we can solve this. Is half of 12 is 6. 6 times 10 is 60. 60 pi feet squared. And then the surface area will include the base. So we need to find the base area, which again is a circle, which is pi r squared. So we can substitute 6 for the radius, which is 30, or let me write that out for you. Pi times 6 squared, which is 36 pi. So for the surface area, we can substitute in the lateral area plus our one base, which is 60 pi is the lateral area. 60 pi plus the area of the base, which is 36 pi. Add those together and get 96 pi for the surface area, which is approximately 301.59 feet squared. Now to find the volume is the area of the base times the height divided by 3. The volume of a cone is 1/3 the size of a cylinder of the same base and height. So we can just find the area of a cylinder, or volume of the cylinder, base times height, but then divide it by 3 to get the cone's volume. We need a height. We don't have the height, so we're going to have to use Pythagorean theorem or Pythagorean triple to get this height. We can use 6 squared plus h squared equals 10 squared. 6 squared plus h squared equals 10 squared. If you use the Pythagorean theorem, you're going to get the height is 8, or you knew that because of it's a 6, 8, 10 right triangle. So the area of the base, we already know, 36 pi from before. So we can substitute 36 pi in for the area of the base. We're going to use 8 for the height, and then divide by 3. So do 36 times 8 is 288 pi. And we could divide by 3 and get 96 pi, which is again approximately 301.59 feet cubed.